everyone, and welcome to Explaining the Unexplainable. And tonight we have a very unusual show because we've got just a different group here tonight. It's kind of fun, and this is our coming back into the new year of 2026. We are celebrating right here on Explaining the Unexplainable, and as you can see over there, we have Science Bob McGwire here. Woohoo! And he's so awesome. Usually he's with LaLa Bright, but LaLa couldn't make it tonight. So we got Bob, and I'm so excited to have you here, Bob. And then we have someone down here, our Desiree Valdez. You may know her from my other podcast. I have so many, I can't even think of the name of them. A Better You through
Better
Claire
You.
Nasty. We just did our great podcast today. It was awesome with Dr. Finkelstein was with us. And so Bishop Joshua Sparks, because we're all together on the Unseen Realm podcast every Saturday with Archbishop Ron. He cannot be here tonight. He sends his apologies, but he just cannot be here. So we have Desiree coming in to help us tonight, and we're going to just have a fantastic show. And we have some questions right off the bat for Bob, but I want to go ahead and introduce him and, have him and Desiree talk a little bit. So, Bob, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm super duper. I'm having a big kickoff to the new year. I got a lot of interesting jobs to do, interesting things I'm working on, including for the UFO field. So it's just wonderful. I'm pretty happy.
Well, I know you're happy because I know that you're happy about that for sure. Because I know how much you love all of this. So I have really enjoyed being on your podcast. I've really enjoyed having you on here. I've enjoyed LaLa she's part of my first book. It's just been such a joy. Now Desiree, she helped me with the first book, Through the Veil, with a remote viewing book. And I really loved having LaLa be participating in that book because she's a fantastic remote viewer. So Des, have you ever met LaLa? Like, have you ever been in a podcast? I can't remember if you have ever in our podcast.
I've seen Bob and LaLa on your all's podcast, and
Okay.
I've been in the chat room,
Right.
So
Okay.
so
Awesome. So you probably have some questions for Science Bob here, don't you? I
I'm
bet
excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is exciting. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm very excited. No, this is definitely up. Like I'm definitely about this. I was looking forward to this. So I
Well,
love catching your all's show. Anyhow,
it's so awesome, and their show, and I look forward to when you get to have your show again, Bob. Orbis
Yeah.
Paranormal.
So I'm trying to get this fancy piece of equipment here and all these microphones to work, and then we're gonna go.
Yes, because I mean, I love your show. You were doing the shows like what, 3 times a week, or is
Yeah.
it once? It seemed like it was like
No. It was 3 days. It was 3 days a week.
and they're incredible. So everyone,
And then she got to where her job was keeping her 7 days a week
wow.
working, and my job is 18 hours a day, 6 days a week. So yeah, my jobs. Yeah, we've been very busy.
Wow. Well, tell the audience about yourself. Okay, I know, start from wherever you want to start from, because you've got so much history to talk about. Not that you've got long life. It's just amazing.
People can tell I'm from the South. It's kind of hard to hide. So anyway, I was born in Tennessee and raised in Alabama. And during the time I was being raised in Alabama, because I pretty much left it as soon as I got out of high school and college, I discovered that I had an unusual gift for science and things technical. I had an anomalous first year. My first birthday was getting out of the hospital after having 3 cardiac arrests from having cerebral encephalitis and my parents being told I wasn't going to make it, and I recovered completely. So then by 3, I woke up one day and walked in where my mother was entertaining her best friend, grabbed books off the shelf and read them to them. So I claim these days people will realize when they say, I was not a plain vanilla kid and I was trained on the hill. So when I was 10 years old, I was doing chemistry and astronomy and amateur radio and knew math way ahead of where I should, memorized Grey's Anatomy from cover to cover. It was just weird. I was like, but my mother was determined that I not be a bookworm geek in the house. So she invited the whole town over to play touch football every Saturday in our yard. So to try to regularize me, she was a great mom. And then my dad was a minister, and he was a brilliant man and taught me a lot about philosophy and religion and those things. And so then I went off to college and got graduated with a degree in applied math and double from Auburn, and went to Sandia Labs for a while and figured out that I really wanted more respect than I could get as a person without it. So I went to Brown University and got a doctorate in applied mathematics. And then I've been doing this geek stuff ever since. So my technical career is I was extremely involved in the earliest first year of software-defined radio. And people probably don't know what software-defined radio is, but almost all aspects of the radio that we used to have when we had dials and knobs on them is now done inside the computer. I'm one of the 3 inventors. And I mean, you can't have this without it being a software-defined radio. So your Wi-Fi in your Wi-Fi thing, that's a software-defined radio. So it's kind of Eddie being one of the inventors of that. And then I founded 2 companies after I went to Virginia Tech and turned that research center into something big with Charles Clancy. It's the #1 funded research center at Virginia Tech now. But I retired in 2022. But before I retired, I founded 2 companies, Federated Wireless and Hawkeye 360, and both of them are doing really well. And then I visited Chris Bledsoe, and once I had Chris Bledsoe, this was before he became famous, and we became close friends. And then I brought Hitchhiker home, had a ton of experiences. And then I left Alabama, moved to Maryland, met LaLa. We had all sorts of experiences because she's been one of these weirdos since she was an infant. Her next door neighbor passed away, and her parents took her to the grave site like weeks after the funeral because they couldn't go. And she walked over. It's this cemetery. You should see it. It's 10,000 graves in it, if maybe more. And she walked over to a grave and says, "Mom and Dad, she's over here." And he says, "Well, how do you know?" She says, "Because she told me." They walked over, and it was her grave, and LaLa had her hand on the grave. And that was she was like 3, and they just from then on knew that she was something different. And she now does readings, and we see craft, and she does remote viewing and dowsing, and just, she's got talent.
Wow, and I just love LaLa. That is an amazing story. For some reason, I don't remember hearing about her being 3 years old and going to saying that.
She won't talk about herself much.
She doesn't. She
doesn't. So I mean, I have to talk about her, or she won't talk about herself.
Oh my goodness! And that's amazing about you too, as a baby, as a young baby. I mean, just think about that.
Now look, no, looking back, and I went, am I remembering all this right? And my mother and her friends and my siblings, they all remember it, and you just don't realize when you're in it, you don't realize how weird it is until later on, and you realize. And then, so I think the kind of major event that kind of ended that part of my life was at 18. I went off to university my girlfriend and I both went to the same university. I picked up her on a Friday to drive home for the weekend. We had an hour and a half of missing time, and she remembers the missing time too. And A week and a half after that, I changed majors and universities and doing what I'm doing now. They didn't want me doing what I was doing, so they made me do something else.
Oh, yes. So it was an altering of your life at that moment, wasn't it?
And I do feel kind of both aided and manipulated ever since.
Wow. Wow. And that's not even all of it. I mean, recently
no.
you'd had a health crisis, like a bizarre one, and
Bizarre.
you were miraculously cured.
So I went on an airplane. Jesse Michaels and I had a deal in California. We had a meeting. I got on the airplane to come home, and I got back here and my leg hurt. And I went, you can get blood clots. I should go have it checked out. And they checked it out and did some stuff and told me I needed a scan. And it took the laboratory a week to call me in for a scan. And when they did the scan, I had blood clots from here to my toes. And so they put me on this medicine, which gets rid of clots and some other stuff. And I got to tell you, I was in the hospital for 2.5 days because they were afraid. And I know why they were afraid, because they kept telling me why they were afraid. They were afraid because they said, we have no idea how you're talking. We don't even have an idea of how you're alive. And so it was just, once again, a miraculous deal. And now the other miraculous healing was I had a heart attack in 2013, and it caused damage. And when I retired, after meeting Chris and doing all that stuff, I had a visit with my cardiologist to make sure I was okay, because it might take me some time to find a good one in Alabama when I was retiring to there. And he says, I don't know what's going on. Can you want to tell me? I says, no, I just been behaving, eating what I'm supposed to, etc. And he says, well, I can't detect any damage in your heart. The treadmill test you just did, I've had athletes from Virginia Tech who couldn't do it. So, I mean, just weird things like that my whole life. You got to get a message after a while. You're being looked after, but you're also being manipulated. And then, of course, I've told the story of the being walking up on us in our backyard. We have a photo of it. And it's the photo, she took the photo, felt it, took the photo, and it was like a puff of smoke over a wide area, 6 feet in front of us, and this gray alien face is in the middle of the smoke. And it talked to her telepathically for a while and gave us our mission, which is to keep helping people with soft disclosure. And we had to agree to it, or they wouldn't. But since then, gee willikers, they come back very often to give us stuff to talk about.
So you know what? That's interesting, because I remember hearing about that, but I had not heard you say exactly what they had said the mission was. So when this was happening, when was that? Just a few years ago, right?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Right. And so what was that? What did that feel like to you? What was that when you knew that was actually happening?
Well, it was I would say it was one of the most shocking events that happened. But just to remind people of how we kind of got into this in our little close-knit deal here in the home, we had poltergeist activity happening constantly, stuff being moved, stuff being knocked off. So I decided to put up some cameras to see what I could collect, what I could catch. And then the camera we put in the front hall, it was one of these, had a night mode and a day mode. And when the light came on, it would go into day mode and be in color. When it was night, it was IR mode and would be black and white. So you can hear something walking, and the light comes on and it goes to day mode. And you can kind of see a little something walking by. It's a little hard to see, but what you can do is hear the voice saying, "Hello, Xander," and them telling me that is Xander's deceased father saying hello to him. Perfectly voiced. It was not a whisper. It was a full-throated voice on that camera's recorder. And they said he joked with Xander like that. "Hello, Xander."
Oh,
And I was going, okay, we're going to have a different kind of life here.
and
Put other more cameras, and we have orbs all over the house all the time. 7 by 24.
wow. So, had up to that point, you hadn't really experienced yourself too much of that?
Oh no, I had some in Alabama after I left Chris's, but this is like overwhelming in comparison. Oh yeah, I had I'm going to call it a human boy. It looked like a teenager walk up from the corner of my room right to my bed, stare at me, and then vanish. Then I have orbs in my front yard floating around in a triangle. I had a craft. I had what I thought was an airplane I was seeing through the trees. And then I realized, no, because whatever that is, it's under the trees. And it sat there for half an hour while I stared at it, blinking, whatever. And so we had orbs and things like that, and then move up here and explode.
Wow. So for we just had Archbishop Ron just stepped in. He said he missed the first part, and I we didn't really talk too much about what your work is, but we mentioned your work. So could you kind of share what your main work has been? Like, you work for the government. You've done a lot of amazing work. So talk a
I
little
worked for the U.S. intelligence community for 27 years, and mostly I was technical collections person. I did use technical means to do collection on our adversaries, and so then I left there and went to work at Virginia Tech as one of the two founders of the Hume Center for National Security and Technology. The purpose of the Hume Center was to bring young people in, help them figure out the good things they could do that would help the government. But kids don't like to go to work for the government anymore. And the main reason is almost all of them are going to school on loans, and they can't afford to take a government salary and pay those loans back. So one of the things the Hume Center did was train kids, get them security clearances, and let them see what the problems were, and they left school with money in their pocket and not loans. And so it was a tremendous success, and it's being emulated other places now. So now the Hume Center, which is now the National Security Institute at Virginia Tech, is the best funded research effort at Virginia Tech. I mean, Charles and I really did well there. So it was just, Ted Hume knew us, and he was one of those kind of guys. Once you work for Ted, you've always worked for him. And when he ordered us to quit and come to Virginia Tech, we went, aye, sir, and did it.
Wow.
But it was fun. I'm glad I did it. I really enjoyed Virginia Tech. I had 50 graduate students in 11 years. I had a good time.
Wow. And you're still working right now. You said you have 3 jobs you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And those
all of them are, each of them is a thing I can't mention.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's all technical stuff.
Wow. That's amazing. And so I'm wondering too, like, is part of the visitations and part of your communications, it probably has there probably has to do with what you're doing right now. I mean, very much aware of that communication involving.
I really feel like a thing they want me to work on is try to figure out when they signal how to decode it into English. I think they would like me to work on a translator from what they do to what we say, from what we say to what they do. I think, but we'll see.
Well, that would be very good.
And I'm working on this box that people can have cameras and other things in it that'll record the sky and detect things automatically and throw away airplanes, satellites, and astronomical objects, and keep only those things that are odd.
Wow. That's amazing. You're like a real genius. He's a real genius on the show, ladies.
You know what? It just feels like I'm this good old boy from Alabama who is having a good time. I don't kind of look at it that way. I do have talents, and I'm happy I have.
Wow. And Desiree, do you have any questions for him that you've been listening?
Oh, I have been listening. I mean, like, this is all awesome. I used to work in the government, not as in a different field and on different, but there's a certain level, or I guess I worked enough to understand enough, and now I kind of understand the duality of how you keep on saying, well, I don't know. The government is just it's a whole nother entity, it's a whole nother world inside itself, and you really have to scratch the surface and everything. You have to read between the lines, it's just a whole nother beast. It's just another thing.
That in the United States, people the government this and the government that, and there is no the government. It has hundreds of thousands of people working for it, and often different groups are working in opposition to each other. It's just people, and how it all glues together and functions is really kind of a miracle.
Yeah, true. Absolutely true. And also too, the encounters that you've had, just mind blowing. And then you had said like 2 years ago, I really feel like something happened in the world, like supernaturally, with like when we had the whole COVID, like in 2020. Like, I know, so supernaturally, interdimensionally, like profound, right? And so I think what you're working on is just absolutely it's just intriguing. So intriguing, because to communicate and all that, well, I wouldn't even imagine how your brain is, or like how your mind is even like grasping that. But I just think of immediately about impulses, because of telepathy and just of like the brain neurons and synapses and firing and whatnot of the energy impulses. And then I do believe in interdimensional and, UFOs and whatnot, that can happen to our realms and whatnot. And I do believe our government, we have CERN and all these other things that we have going on. So, wow, I'm just like, I wanted to say, like, I loved hearing all your stories and like what you're working on. I feel blessed to know you, and I'm glad you're on our team on this side, and that you're working for like the good of humanity and like to help everybody out and everything. And man, God bless you. It's cool. I'm just enjoying. Yes, I've been listening a lot. I started writing, and I was like, I wanted to know more. I'm trying to bookmark things that I want to talk about, or like I want to read more about, because my wheels are just like smoking over here.
Well, I have a question from a family member that wanted to ask you this. What happened to 31 Atlas?
Oh, okay. So 3i Atlas was a weird comet, and it made its big round around the sun and went back out. And so we were all taken advantage of by grifters and charlatans trying to make it into something big and get a lot of clicks and views. It was a weird comet that came from outside the solar system, and now it's on its way back out.
Wow. Do you think it could, it really could have any more to it though, just on the supernatural level that we'll never really know about?
Nothing that we have seen on any serious sensor indicates it's anything other than an odd comet from another star. We just haven't seen anything to indicate it's alive, it's maneuvering. People go, oh, it changed orbits. Well, what happens is these things come in quickly and they take 2 or 3 looks at it and guess its orbital trajectory. And then as they get more evidence, they go, oops, we made a mistake. Let's correct the orbit. And then people say, oh, it maneuvered. And all they've done is correct their estimate of the orbit. And this is normal. This is an absolutely normal process that happens the same way every time. They guess the orbital elements. It's close enough you can find it, but it's not close enough for them. So they keep updating it with new measurements.
Okay, that makes sense to me. I'm like, whatever is fine, whatever it has to do. But I was wondering what you think about. It's not Alaska. Is it Alaska? What is the place where people, they say that you can go, but it's very, very cold? Joe, do you know what I'm talking about? Joe's behind me. It's okay, you guys. It's not Alaska. It's somewhere really cold, and they say that there are aliens and people over there.
Oh, Antarctica.
Antarctica, yeah. What do you think about that, Science Bob?
I think there's stuff in Antarctica. There's too much odd stuff that's happened. That's number one. And number two, the treaties that have kind of carved up Antarctica and won't allow anything to happen there, they're kind of weird. It doesn't make any sense. So we exploit every crack of the planet for everything, no matter what damage it does, and yet we won't go down there and look for gold and oil, and it's just really strange. Something just tells me there's a lot strange about Antarctica, and it's so huge it might stay hidden forever.
Or how about how they took it off of the map too?
Yeah.
Like they pretty much are removing it off of our maps, like to almost like out of sight, out of mind. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean, people went down there in a big way several years ago, and nobody can quite figure out why that group of people went. So that included people like senators and Buzz Aldrin and all sorts of other stuff. And we would not have even known it happened, except Buzz Aldrin had a major health deal, and they had a super duper medevac flight to get him out of there so he wouldn't die on Antarctica.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only reason we know that they went down there.
That's suspicious.
Why was that group of dignitaries in the middle of Antarctica? These are not scientists. They're not soldiers. So that was like something really weird's going on.
I think you should find out what it is, Bob.
Well, of course, having a clearance allows you to know things, but the things you're allowed to know is those things you need to know to do your job. You can't know everything. You can only know those things you need to know to do the job you've been assigned. That's how the security system keeps secrets.
You say it exactly the way they say it too.
Yeah, I know the rules. I know the rules.
Yeah, you say it. I feel like flashbacks.
So after decades of living in it, you kind of get to know the rules.
So how is it now that you've met LaLa and you're with LaLa and she's so different than what you were, as that you normally were, and then you're with LaLa now and you're in this whole new world in a way. How is that? I mean, it's natural for you. Now it's like really natural, but
so in other words, at first, a lot of my technical friends and those people that knew me were going, "What is going on?" Okay, but over time, as the government has talked more and more about, hey, some of this stuff is real, and people are news programs on it every night, and age of disclosure happens, and I'm back to being hired as quickly as I can say yes, by the same people that wouldn't talk to me before. So my life has expanded its horizons to see other things that I never knew were actually real before. I just thought it was all science fiction until it became reality. But now it's back to I'm kind of doing the same work I was doing before. And I got to tell you right now, let me explain to you. Over half the people in government have had experiences and know it's real. Over half.
Yeah. Wow. I'm surprised I didn't realize that you had kind of been shunned in a way
Oh yeah.
because, oh my, that's like,
I did not. First of all, in 2022, I was invited to work at places and they were not allowed to hire me. Now I know why it is now. It had nothing to do with UFOs. I wish it had, because the reason they wouldn't allow me to work for them is they didn't want me talking about stuff I knew about, and it made me very angry. But anyway, I'm over it. I'm back working. The problems are great. Some progress has been made in my absence, but they still need me. So that part's good.
yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's amazing. I'm excited for you. I'm really excited for you because I agree with Desiree. I feel like there is definitely something that has shifted. And I could feel it in 2000, I think it was 2008, well, it's 2019. I remember telling people, like, I don't know what this is, but it didn't, I had no clue the pandemic. I mean, that was so shocking to me, but I always knew that I felt like some reason I would meet people that were very similar to what had happened to me. They would say, like, well, I was in a terrible accident and this year and my whole life it was like my story, but not. It was their story, but it was all in the same time frame. And as the more I heard that, the more I thought, well, there's something happening here, that there's all these people that have experienced some sort of huge change through almost near death accidents, miraculous, life saving, crazy things that, we've been saved and are still alive. And it seems like there's a lot of those. And Desiree is a perfect example of this too, Bob. I don't know if you've heard the story, but Desiree literally was. They said she was completely blind, like she was blind, and she had a miraculous healing. Just
Nice.
yeah, miraculous healing, and that was just a couple of years ago, right, Des? I mean, it was
Well,
really
it's like,
two,
well,
three,
we've known me, was it last year? I
yeah,
mean, this is like all last year I got my vision back and I had
yeah.
the doctors like going through the testing and everything. Yeah, I did. I lost my vision. COVID. It was because of the vid. Because it hits your neurological and everything. So it did. Didn't know that. It's becoming a little bit more common. It gave me it's called a IIH, idiopathic, meaning I don't know why, intracranial hypertension. Too much spinal fluid goes into I think it's so yeah, just cut off on the optic nerves and lost my vision. Couldn't see nothing. Wow, it was like
Wow.
so scary. Yeah, it was just like you go from like seeing, and I'm such a visual person, and seeing everything to like got cloudy, smoke. It looked smoky, desaturated. To eventually, it was just like I had to like I couldn't touch my face. You're touching your eyes to see if you're awake or not. And so that was pretty tense. And yeah, that kind of led me into I guess where I'm at right now. But yeah, that was it's a legit bona fide, like for reals miracle. And here I am, changed my life. Literally changed my life. But it's worth it. It's cool. And not, I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to say it's cool. It's just,
Oh, no, you're good. It's a great
to be honest
story.
with you, yeah, it's just like, I mean, I don't know. It's just, think I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it too. Like that really happened. That was part of my life. Everybody was there. Like, man, geez.
But it's part of that, like Bob, like how many you just listed off several miraculous healings. Like, I mean, you literally they said you had blood clots
Blood
and then
clots.
they're gone. I mean, that's miraculous. So
Hmm.
Oh yeah, they told me it would take a while. They were gone in 4 weeks.
Wow.
I mean, I've never heard of that happening.
No, me either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, so there's I mean, I think it's I think it also reaffirms to the people that they're going through, like, wow, there's more to this. and you do feel like we just had a miracle just this afternoon. And I'm like, you get so stressed and all of a sudden a miracle happens. You're like, wow, that's a miracle. It's like it keeps you going, like
Yeah.
it keeps us going to do our missions and our jobs, for what we're supposed to do. When you were little, Bob, did you feel like when you were a child and you were, doing all your things that you talked about, did you feel like you had a special mission then?
I felt that I felt I had abilities others didn't have, but I didn't feel like I had a mission. Missions kind of come on in the last 20 years.
Okay. And
now,
then
now I've got them because they asked and I said yes.
right. Yeah. And I mean, and I've had that too. Like I know when they come, we've talked about this before. Like I see them and Des sees them and different beings, and then you communicate with each other and you're like, it's real, it's very real and it's life altering. What I'm wondering, I know we've talked about this a little bit, but when you are doing these communications and you're just in your life, how do you keep yourself protected from the dark forces? I mean, LaLa and I've talked a lot about that, because as remote viewers, you have to go, all of a sudden you're in an environment, or you're going into an environment you have never been in before, and you have to stay protected. What is it that you do to keep yourself safe and protected?
Well, I say only those things that are good and want to help me can come near, and I try to envision a protective shield between me and them. We ground a lot. I mean, our sheets are grounded. So, and I've got a ground rod driven into the ground with a wire that comes up to a mat, so that we don't have to walk out into the snow to go ground. We're still grounded.
Oh yeah, the grounding. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, but I read the scientific paper. The scientific paper are now showing that grounding has major health benefits.
Oh yeah.
It drains off inflammation, excess charge, and other things that cause you lots of problems. And we don't go outside barefoot and touch the trees anymore. And so we are separated. We are separated ourselves from our mother, and she likes us and wants to stay in touch with her.
Right. Right.
We are creatures of Earth, and we've put too much distance between us and Earth. We eat processed foods that have almost no relation to nature, and so we need to change our ways.
Yeah. That's so true. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, I really believe that. And so with your health, the way you've been doing, what have you done to change your health?
Okay. So I began, like a lot of people, as they get older and they see their and I got an ache or pain or two, I began reading and listening to people talk about longevity and the things that happen. And then I realized every health problem I have had, period, since I was 50 years old to today, is metabolic dysfunction, mitochondrial dysfunction in particular. And the science of how to recover and how to behave better, etc., is completely known. Some of the stuff, it's so bad that they've known since 1910 and 20s. Mm-hmm. What things we should eat and that are really, really good for us but they wanted to make billions of dollars selling us supplements. And so we're still on all this supplementation, when as a matter of fact, you need to learn how to eat. It's amazing. Your body lives on the circadian rhythm. And so your activities should follow the circadian rhythm. And what you eat and when you eat it should follow a pattern that's determined by the circadian rhythm. And if you do it, you'll sleep a lot at night, because all of the repairing that happens to your body happens in deep sleep at night. And
Yeah.
if you don't get it, your body degrades. And so I started all this, and I went from having aches and pains to zero. No aches and pains. My blood sugar fell, my A1C is falling, I'm becoming limber, and my skin is supple and feels like I put cream on it. And it's just amazing what happens when you eat the way you're supposed to eat and do those things you're supposed to do.
We should have you on the other podcast because this is
Well
what
said.
we love to talk about. It's like the health and how to do this. So
Well, I have made a serious study of it just for my own health, and I'm no doctor, I'm no longevity scientist, but I've learned a lot, and I can tell you who to go listen to and what to read because it's pretty strict. I'll give you an example. How many of the people you know or yourselves or in the audience regularly ingest apple cider vinegar?
I do every day.
There you go. 3 weirdos do what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to drink that stuff 3 times a day, and it completely transforms your metabolism.
It does. It really does.
Totally transforms it.
And
And
when
let me tell you how much sugar I eat now.
Okay. 0.
That's awesome.
None. I won't eat processed food, and I won't eat anything with sugar in it.
Wow. So yeah, because we just did my husband, we started doing the Wild Fit thing, and that's basically just no sugar and protein, veggies, and all this kind of and all. So yeah, so it's been really interesting. Like we had a little bit more during the time of the holidays, but generally we eat pretty good, now. So you've really just gone into 0. What are some of your favorite foods that you eat now?
Oh, I eat fish, a lot of fish. I eat chicken, a lot of chicken. I can eat grass-fed ground beef because the grass-fed ground beef has collagen in it that you need, whereas grain-fed feed yard cattle don't. They're full of antibiotics, and all these antibiotics we take, we are killing our gut biome, and our metabolism can't work right without the gut biome. There's so much we know now. We need to educate people and help them.
And one thing I learned during the, when I had the scare with the diabetes, and then, I found Dr. Jason Fung, and that was amazing because, he had to go up against the Diabetes Corporation because they were just telling everybody to give this medicine. Instead, it's a like you said, it is literally what we eat, and he's changed in the face of medicine that way. But
I'll give you an example. Let me give you a simple example. Okay. No carbs, can't eat carbs, right? Well, if you 30 minutes before you eat apple cider vinegar, and you eat protein with some fats first,
you can have
you
your
can
carbs.
have the carbs at the end of the meal, and you don't have an insulin spike.
Yes.
It's the order in which you do things are almost as important as what you eat.
Right.
It's your body is a machine. It has a way to work. And a lot of our problems is because we are shoving sugar in and damaging our mitochondria. And our mitochondria's principal food is fats turned into ketones.
Yeah.
That's its food.
And
we're denying the engine of our metabolism. We're denying what it needs to work right.
Right. I love this. This is awesome to talk to you about this. So, what do you do fasting?
Yeah. So, but mine is like every day. So I do not eat after 6 o'clock, and I don't eat breakfast until 9 o'clock the next morning. So I'm like 15 hours fast every day.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, and people don't like. people just, I mean, I think some more people are getting it now. I know Des and I, we're always fasting, I really believe that that is like how, I mean, I saved my life, by doing that. Oh, look, we got some people. Like Elon,
Oh, Elon Volo is right. If you have carbohydrates or other things, take a 30-minute walk,
yeah,
and your insulin will not spike. Now, we also know that 15 minutes of extremely intense aerobic exercise
yes.
completely and utterly transforms your metabolism, and a lot of your problems over time will just disappear. You don't have to run miles, 15 minutes, but it's this way. Exercise hard enough so that you can talk, but it's a struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's too much. But if you could talk while you're exercising, but talking is a struggle, that is the right level. Maintain it for 15 minutes, and you will totally transform your metabolism.
Yeah. I mean, I've been researching this too. This is amazing. I even was researching that now there's some people saying that you're supposed to do that really fast and then you can go lay down. Have you heard that? You lay down and just relax for a minute, and that resets something in your body. So I have to research.
The other thing is all this weird stuff about red lights and cold this and warm that. Oh my goodness, it's true. The red lights, near infrared and red lights.
Yes.
They go through your skin and they charge your mitochondria. We are photosynthetic. And it's red and near infrared photons that charge the batteries in our body. So I got one of those red lights. I feel better than ever.
Oh my God. I just had my room. I have my 2 red lights set up now in my therapy room.
Yeah, but you're recharging your mitochondria because it penetrates the skin. Ultraviolet won't. It damages the skin, but red and infrared goes through the skin and it energizes your mitochondria.
Yeah, and I think it tightens your skin.
It's definitely the suppleness of your skin when it goes away. It's you not eating enough collagen, and your mitochondria are damaged, and you got to sleep at night. Deep sleep is when all the repair of skin and everything occurs. If you're not sleeping at night, you're not getting the repair cycle you need.
Exactly. I love this. Wow. This is so great. See,
you're looking at a geek that reads too much, and we can't fail to get obsessed when it impacts him personally. So I've been studying this like mad to learn what to do, because I'm 71 and I'm going to live with a brain working till I'm 91 at least.
There you
go. Yeah, that's right. Or keep on going.
Yeah.
I mean, like we've got one of our guys, Glenn Galtier. He's an exorcist on the Unseen Realm.
Yeah.
And he's there. He's 96 years old, and he's just like a kid, So whatever.
I began. The thing that got me was, first of all, my A1C went back up, but I began to show the aches and pains and sarcopenia, and I did not want to get weak and doddering. So I learned what was causing it. I was not metabolizing stuff right. I wasn't eating enough protein. And now people who have this, you got to eat a lot of protein, 60 grams of protein a day. And one whey is not enough. You need other things. And you'll my muscle weakness is evaporating. My strength is returned.
A lot of people, there's that fight on. I mean, I used to be one of those people that would be like, more the vegetarian, but then the more I studied what happened with me, it's like I saw a difference. I mean, I don't like to eat the cows or things like that, but I mean, I do understand like how it is, what our body actually
you can replace it, but you got to look at it and make sure it's a complete replacement for everything you need. If you can, vegetarians can eat the right stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different foods out there. This is so awesome. Well, would you like to come on the other show sometime? That'd
Yeah,
be
I don't
great.
mind. I don't
It's a,
mind.
it's in the
I think by now people know that I like to talk a lot.
It's cool. I still have more questions to ask, but I know we're running out of time, so I can't wait till you go on the other show so I can ask you the other questions.
Well,
I
Bob,
wanted to talk more about the UFOs too.
yeah. So, Bob, what is there something you would like to share? Because we do only have a few more minutes. Is there anything you'd like to share with us? What's happening in you guys' life?
Okay, so LaLa's her balloon and entertainment art that is just exploding. People should go check it out, and she
Yeah.
is so friggin' talented. All right, so that, and I'm working on a bunch of sensor packages that people can use to do their observing in the sky and tell interesting things from not interesting things. And it's going to be affordable by some people and definitely affordable by groups. I mean, it's more, some of the stuff that we're seeing out there is incredible. I like to give it the Tedesco brothers. They have the most amazing collection of equipment, getting UAP stuff, but their van and everything in it's cost $1 million. So I'm finding inexpensive things that will do the job. It won't be as good as the $1 million Tedesco stuff, but it's enough for you to participate in collecting data that's scientifically useful. It won't be the best, but it's scientifically useful because it'll be packaged in a way that makes it scientifically useful. And I just want people to be able to tell Mick West he's full of crap.
Is there any place that's exciting? That's amazing, and congratulations on that.
That and just people, you know who Julia Mossbridge is?
Mm-mm.
She is part of the science scene behind the telepathy tapes.
Oh, right. Yes.
Okay, so she's starting a company, and it's technical as a technical mission, and Eric Davis and I are the scientists in it.
Oh my goodness, because we
Yeah,
did that telepathy tapes. We did a podcast, all of us, you and LaLa and me and Ann Bender and another
I
lady.
remember it. I remember us doing that. Was that the telepathy tapes? It utterly overwhelmed me with. I got to get into this more. So, but I've been doing consciousness work for a while as a theoretician, not as a hands-on person. I'm going hands-on.
Wow, isn't that interesting? You drew that in.
That and she's one of Dean Radin's top advisors at Ions. Julia
Wow,
Moskowitz is incredible.
wow, and you are working with her now.
Yeah, Derek Davis and I are going to be part of her company.
Wow, congratulations. That's amazing. We have a son I have a son that developed autism spectrum, and he's in his 20s. So when that happened just 2 years ago, I have really just been trying to figure out what happened here. What is this about? And so thank you for taking that on. Thank you for working with people like this that are. He's very intuitive. He's amazing, and so I know that it has to do with highly intuitive people too. So thank you for taking
And
that on.
even those people that kind of grew up kind of quote on the spectrum, but not that far in, they have enhanced ability to take this on and operationalize it. They can learn to do the kinds of things we're into in this field more
Good.
easily than others. And I don't think we understand the neurophysiology of it, but they definitely have enhancements in their ability to have abilities.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing that. I'm looking forward to this. And we would love to have you guys on the shows talking about this anytime you want, anywhere or anytime. We would love to talk more about
Well, I
this.
mean, you know how much I care about you and Bishop, and I'm glad to meet you, Desiree, and I'm just happy to support you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we love you and LaLa. And Bishop Joshua, I know he is sad to be here,
Oh,
not to be here tonight, but
Yeah, I really love the guy. He is a great guy.
He is something else, isn't he? He
Yes.
is so awesome. It's such a blessing to have him. Okay, well, I guess we should probably end the show because I know your time. It's getting late, very late, and Desiree's time. And Stan Bikes, thank you, our producer back there, Stan Bikes. And
See you, Stan.
yeah,
Thanks,
we
Stan.
appreciate all the people in the
Stan's the
audience
man.
tonight. Thank you so much. We see some new names. Thank you for being here tonight. And please check out all of our other shows, Explaining the Unexplainable. We've had some amazing guests on our shows, and we're just excited to continue on in the 2026. Desiree, thank you so much for being here with me tonight.
Thank you
And
so
Bob, God
much.
bless you. Thank you so much for being here. You've
I'm
been
happy to be here. Desiree, it's nice to meet you.
It was super cool to meet you, Science Bob. I can't wait to talk more.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
all right. Good night, everybody. Thank you.